Hi, Bible children. Today we are watching the story of Paul Road to Damascus, and even the meanest of people can turn kind, listen, and enjoy. Under the relentless Judean sun, Jerusalem pulsates with life, a symphony of bartering, shouts, and the ceaseless shuffle of feet on ancient stone. Amid the chaos, Saul, a Pharisee of stern countenance, stands observing the stoning of Stephen, his eyes burning with zealous conviction. His gaze pierces through the crowd, fixated on the grim spectacle, a subtle satisfaction tugging at the corners of his lips. He stands motionless, the sounds of the city fading into a distant hum as the weight of the axe settles upon him. The stones fall, each thud a testament to his unwavering belief, each impact etching deeper lines of conviction upon his face. The Sanhedrin hall buzzes with anticipation, every corner filled with watchful eyes. Saul steps forward, his presence commanding attention as he faces the Sanhedrin. His face ablaze with fervor, Saul prepares to unleash his impassioned defense. With a sweeping gesture, Saul's voice reverberates through the chamber, demanding to be heard. The echo of his conviction hangs in the air, stirring the hearts of those who listen. In the dead of night, Saul is poring over ancient scrolls, his face etched with intense concentration. Flickering candlelight casts eerie shadows, accentuating the hatred burning in his eyes. The ancient parchment glows under the dim light, mirroring the dark intensity of his gaze. A palpable sense of hatred fills the room, directed with unwavering focus towards the Christian sect. His eyes narrow, reflecting a deep-seated animosity that consumes his every thought. The candlelight dances across his face, highlighting the dark passion that fuels his animosity. Under the scorching sun, Saul and his armed companions ride towards Damascus, their figures stark against the endless, dusty road. The sun beats down relentlessly, each ray intensifying the oppressive heat that shimmers above the path to Damascus. Dust swirls around the horses' hooves, a constant reminder of the arduous journey under the unforgiving sun. Saul's face is grim, his determination etched deeper by the harshness of the journey. As Damascus looms in the distance, the armed companions press on, their armor glinting under the sun, each step bringing them closer to their destination, Damascus. A blinding light erupts across the desert, momentarily turning day into an ethereal glow. Saul rides powerfully on horseback, suddenly engulfed in a radiant burst. A piercing cry echoes as Saul is thrown violently from his horse, a silhouette against the overwhelming light. Saul lies prostrate on the ground, shielding his eyes from the unearthly brilliance. Dust swirls on the road to Damascus, where Saul lies defeated. His eyes stare blankly at the sky, reflecting the sun's intense light. Around him, his companions are frozen in disbelief and terror. Their expressions are etched with a mixture of confusion and fear as they witness the impossible. The scene is a tableau of shock and awe under the unforgiving sun. A powerful light erupts across the desolate road to Damascus, searing the eyes. Saul crumples to his knees, hands clamped over his eyes in agony. His companions, faces etched with confusion and terror, shield themselves from the blinding glare. From the heavens, a voice booms. "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" In the dimness, a solitary figure remains shrouded in mystery. Flickering light reveals Saul, his eyes squinting against the sudden brightness. Saul strains to discern the shape emerging from the darkness. A question pierces the silence as Saul speaks, his voice filled with uncertainty. "Who are you, Lord?" The figure remains still as Saul awaits a response, his question hanging in the air. The screen bursts with an all-consuming light, pure and radiant, obliterating all sense of place. A voice echoes from the light, resonating with divine authority. The voice of Jesus echoes in the blinding light. "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting." The light pulses, the words hanging in the air, challenging and inescapable. Under the scorching sun, Saul stumbles blindly on the road to Damascus, his world plunged into darkness. His companions' faces grim with concern, carefully lead the way, shielding him from the relentless heat. Each step is a struggle, the harsh desert landscape unforgiving as they press onward. The journey to Damascus stretches before them, a path fraught with uncertainty and divine mystery. In the dim interior of a Damascus house, Saul sits enshrouded in darkness. He remains still deeply engaged in fasting. He continues his silent prayer. The darkness deepens around Saul, amplifying his solitude. His face reflects intense focus. Saul persists in his spiritual devotion, seeking guidance. In the quiet of night, Ananias kneels, his face a study in worry, illuminated by the soft glow of a single oil lamp. Shadows dance around him as he silently seeks solace, his lips moving in a hushed communion. A gentle, ethereal light begins to permeate the room, washing away the darkness. The room transforms, the mundane giving way to the divine as the glow intensifies. Ananias remains still, bathed in the otherworldly light, his expression shifting from worry to serene hope. The transformation is complete, the room now filled with a palpable sense of peace and divine presence. Sunlight fills a humble room as Saul of Tarsus kneels, lost in deep prayer. In the stillness, a voice echoes, guiding, "Go to the house of Judas on Straight Street and ask for Saul of Tarsus. He is praying." The voice of Jesus directs him to Judas's house on Straight Street. The voice confirms, Saul of Tarsus is in fervent prayer. Bathed in the ethereal glow of sunlight filtering through a high window, Ananias kneels, his face etched with deep worry. Dust motes dance in the sunlit air as Ananias prepares to voice his burdened thoughts. With earnest concern, Ananias begins to speak, his voice trembling with the weight of his fears. His voice heavy with apprehension, Ananias pleads, "Lord, I have heard much about this man and all the harm he has done to your saints in Jerusalem." The scene erupts in a cascade of light, so intense it threatens to overwhelm. From the heart of the light, a figure begins to take shape, radiating an aura of warmth and peace. Jesus speaks, his voice resonating with authority and compassion. "Go, for he is a chosen instrument of mine to carry my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel." His serene gaze holds the promise of a divine mission, charged with destiny. Ananias cautiously steps into the modest room, his expression hesitant. Saul is kneeling in intense prayer, lost in a world of spiritual devotion. Ananias pauses, observing Saul's profound devotion. The room stands still, holding the weight of prayer and anticipation. Saul remains absorbed in prayer, his figure a silhouette of faith. Ananias watches his presence, a silent question in the charged atmosphere. In a room bathed in gentle light, Ananias stands before the blinded Saul. Ananias' gaze softens with compassion as he addresses Saul, his voice calm. "Brother Saul, the Lord Jesus has sent me so that you may see again." Ananias continues, his words resonating with divine purpose, "and be filled with the Holy Spirit." The room glows brighter as Ananias' blessing fills the space, awaiting Saul's transformation. In a quiet room in Damascus, Ananias approaches Saul, his touch gentle and deliberate. The moment Ananias' hands touch him, a strange transformation begins. Something resembling scales peels away from Saul's eyes, a physical manifestation of his spiritual awakening. Saul blinks, his eyes fluttering open as clarity floods his vision. His vision returns, sharp and clear, as if a veil has been lifted. Sunlight floods the room, casting a divine glow upon the scene. Ananias, a beacon of gentle kindness, prepares to baptize Saul. Ananias pours water over Saul's head, a symbolic cleansing. Saul kneels humbly, awaiting his transformation. Saul's face radiates serenity, a soul reborn in the light. Sunlight floods the Damascus synagogue, illuminating the air as Paul stands at the bima. His voice booms, filled with unwavering conviction, echoing through the sacred space. A small group of Jews listens intently, their faces a canvas of astonishment and disbelief. They exchange glances, their expressions a mixture of wonder and skepticism. The ancient synagogue resonates with the tension between tradition and revelation. Inside the synagogue, a congregation assembles, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. A palpable tension fills the air as all eyes focus on the entrance. Murmurs ripple through the crowd, a shared sense of unease. The collective curiosity intensifies, tinged with a growing apprehension. A voice rises above the crowd, questioning, "Is this not the man who made havoc in Jerusalem of those who called upon this name?" Sunlight floods the Damascus synagogue, illuminating the sacred space as Paul stands tall, his voice echoing with fervent conviction. Paul passionately defends his newfound faith, his gestures emphatic as he speaks to the crowd. A mixture of shock and anger ripples through the crowd as Paul's former allies glare at him with betrayed eyes. Murmurs spread among Paul's former brothers, their expressions hardening with each word he speaks. The sacred space of the synagogue becomes a battleground of faith, divided by Paul's unwavering declaration. Under the veil of night, the ancient Damascus city walls stand tall, their stones whispering tales of ages past. A large wicker basket descends slowly from the towering walls, carrying a precious cargo of hope and peril. Inside the basket, Paul clutches the sides, his face a canvas of fear and unwavering resolve. Above, shadowy figures work in hushed silence, their faces lit by the flickering glow of torches, their mission shrouded in secrecy. Under the relentless sun, Jerusalem unfolds, its ancient stones radiating heat. Paul, weathered by years of relentless travel, approaches the imposing city gates. He seeks entry to the ranks of the disciples, his face etched with determination. A palpable fear permeates the air, casting a shadow of doubt over his arrival. The disciples eye Paul with suspicion, memories of his past fueling their apprehension. His past actions loom large, a barrier between him and the acceptance he desperately seeks. In the heart of Jerusalem, Barnabas guides Paul through sun-drenched, bustling streets. Sunlight bathes ancient stone structures, illuminating their path. They halt before a humble dwelling, the Apostles' Sanctuary. Barnabas approaches, exchanging words with the gatekeeper. A silent invitation beckons Paul to enter. Barnabas vouches for Paul's conversion and his preaching in Damascus. The meeting room hums with a palpable sense of anticipation as the apostles gather. All eyes turn towards Paul, his presence commanding attention. Barnabas steps forward, his voice resonating with unwavering conviction. Barnabas shares his account, each word carrying the weight of truth. A collective nod ripples through the assembly, signaling cautious acceptance. The initial tension dissipates, replaced by a fragile sense of unity. In the vibrant heart of Jerusalem, Paul stands tall, his voice echoing with unwavering conviction. He passionately debates with the Hellenists, his every gesture filled with purpose. The Hellenists respond with skepticism and rising anger, their faces mirroring their disbelief. The air crackles with tension as the debate intensifies, the future hanging in the balance. Under the blazing Jerusalem sun, a gathering of Hellenists plots in shadows, their faces twisted with malice. Their sinister scheme centers on the murder of Paul, their dark intentions palpable. Alert to the impending danger, the brothers unite, resolve etched on their faces. With swift determination, the brothers rally, their expressions a mix of concern and firm resolve. A rescue plan forms swiftly as the brothers act decisively to shield Paul from harm. Under the protection of his allies, Paul is escorted away to Caesarea, ensuring his safety from the vengeful Hellenists. Paul stands firm on the ship's deck, his hair dancing softly in the wind as Caesarea fades into the distance. The sun casts a golden hue upon the ship as it departs Caesarea, heading toward the distant horizon. White sails billow against the clear sky, carrying Paul towards Tarsus. The ship glides through the azure waters, propelled by the wind. The vessel steadily advances towards the distant horizon. Under the vast sky, Paul returns to Tarsus, his silhouette framed against the horizon. He walks through the city gates, his presence a whisper in the familiar streets. Each step echoes with memories, as Tarsus embraces its returning sun. The city awakens to his arrival, its ancient stones bearing witness to his journey. In the heart of Tarsus, Paul stands, a figure of destiny amidst his origins. Under the relentless sun, Barnabas sets out on the dusty road to Tarsus, his purpose unwavering. The air shimmers with heat, distorting the path ahead as Barnabas presses on, driven by determination. Dust billows around his feet, each step a testament to his resolve to find Paul. The sun beats down mercilessly, yet Barnabas does not falter, his mission clear in his mind. He advances steadily, the distant silhouette of Tarsus beginning to emerge through the heat haze. With each step, Barnabas closes the distance, his hope growing with the approaching city. Under the vast sky of Antioch, Barnabas begins his search. Barnabas moves through the crowded streets, his determination growing with each step. Barnabas spots Paul in the distance. Barnabas approaches Paul. Barnabas turns, guiding Paul back towards Antioch. Together, Barnabas and Paul walk towards Antioch. Inside the ancient church of Antioch, sunlight streams through stained glass windows, casting a divine glow upon Paul and Barnabas. Their voices resonate with conviction, capturing the rapt attention of the congregation. A year has woven through their lives, embedding their teachings deep within the souls of the people. The warmth of faith fills the church, as Paul and Barnabas stand as beacons of unwavering belief. Sunlight floods the modest church in Antioch, illuminating the faces of the early followers gathered within. Stained glass windows paint the scene with color as anticipation fills the air. A hushed expectancy settles over the congregation. In this humble space, a new identity is about to be embraced. The moment arrives when they will be known by a new name. Sunlight paints the sacred space of the Antioch church, casting vibrant hues through stained glass windows onto the reverent faces below. Amidst the congregation, Agabus, a prophet etched with time and wisdom, rises to address the gathered souls. His voice, a vessel of divine pronouncements, booms through the hallowed hall, commanding the attention of every ear. Agabus proclaims, "A severe famine will spread throughout the entire Roman world." A hush falls over the assembly as Agabus's words hang in the air, a chilling prophecy of hardship to come. Inside the church in Antioch, a palpable sense of unity and purpose fills the air. Faces etched with concern and compassion reflect the deep connection among the disciples. The disciples gather, their expressions mirroring a shared commitment to their brothers and sisters in Judea. A heavy atmosphere of unity and shared purpose hangs over the church. The church in Antioch stands as a beacon of hope and solidarity as the disciples unite in their shared mission. Beneath the radiant Jerusalem sun, Paul and Barnabas arrive, their figures weary yet resolute. Each step tells a tale of trials endured, their faces canvases etched with the harsh realities of their long journey. They approach the assembly of elders, their robes billowing gently in the breeze, an air of solemnity surrounding them. The elders stand and wait, their presence a fortress of wisdom and tradition against the vibrant backdrop of Jerusalem. A silent greeting passes between the travelers and the elders, a moment of profound respect bridging distant paths. The weight of their mission settles upon them, relief funds held as a beacon of hope in a city of ancient burdens. In Jerusalem, the ancient stone walls of a room bear witness to a crucial assembly. Paul and Barnabas stand, their expressions reflecting the weight of the moment. James and the elders listen intently, their gazes fixed with respect. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation. Dust swirls around Paul and Barnabas as they approach Antioch's imposing gates, their journey etched in every line of their faces. The ancient stones of Antioch loom, a silent welcome to the weary travelers returning from their sacred task. Each step echoes with purpose as Paul and Barnabas pass through the gates, their mission in Jerusalem complete. The faces of Paul and Barnabas reflect the weight and triumph of their spiritual journey, their eyes holding stories of distant lands. Antioch embraces its messengers, their return signaling the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Soft light bathes the church in Antioch as worshippers gather, their bowed heads radiating a quiet reverence. Stained glass windows cast colorful patterns across the congregation, enhancing the palpable sense of anticipation. Prophets and teachers huddle in prayer, the air thick with unspoken expectations. The church buzzes with a quiet energy, each member awaiting a divine moment. Every face reflects a shared hope, a collective breath held in anticipation of what is to come. A single beam of light pierces the darkness, illuminating a space. An ethereal voice echoes, "Set apart for me, Barnabas and Saul." The voice continues, resonating with divine purpose. "For the work to which I have called them." The light intensifies, a symbol of the sacred task ahead. The voice fades, leaving only the lingering light and the weight of destiny. Inside the ancient church, hushed murmurs of prayer fill the air as solemn faces turn towards Barnabas and Saul. A sacred moment unfolds as hands descend upon Barnabas and Saul, bestowing a blessing and a fond farewell. The weight of their mission settles upon Barnabas and Saul as the congregation offers its heartfelt support. The church stands united in faith, sending forth its chosen messengers with blessings and solemn prayers. Barnabas and Saul stand tall on the ship's deck, robes billowing in the fierce wind. Seleucia fades into the distance, a memory against the vast sky. The ship cuts through the azure waves, a path forged towards Cyprus. Barnabas steadies himself, gaze fixed on the distant horizon, a journey of faith ahead. Saul looks back one last time, then turns forward, resolute. Under the radiant Cypriot sun, Paul and Barnabas embark on their sacred journey, their figures small against the timeless landscape. Their voices rise, resonating with the weight of their message as they preach in the heart of the synagogues. The ancient stones of Cyprus bear witness as the sunlight etches their presence into the scene, highlighting their every move. Gathered crowds listen intently, their faces a mixture of curiosity and reverence as the divine message unfolds. Echoes of faith reverberate through the air, mingling with the warmth of the sun and the steadfastness of the ancient stones. The sunlight casts a golden hue over Cyprus, a silent benediction upon the shared message of hope and renewal. The Roman proconsul's court buzzes with anticipation, its marble pillars echoing the gravity of the moment. Amidst the solemn assembly, Paul stands firm, his resolve unwavering. Facing Paul, Elymas casts a dark shadow with his shifty gaze and sinister sneer. The air crackles with unspoken tension as two opposing forces collide in the heart of the court. In this arena of wills, the fate of conviction hangs in the balance, awaiting a decisive turn. In a place unknown, Paul's fury erupts, his voice a thunderous challenge to a hidden evil. His words begin to echo off the walls, filling the space with the weight of his condemnation. "You son of the devil, full of all deceit and villainy, enemy of all righteousness." Paul's voice intensifies, cutting through the silence. His challenge rings out, accusing the unseen adversary of twisting the divine path. "Will you not stop making crooked the straight paths of the Lord?" he demands, his voice echoing with righteous anger. The air crackles with unspoken tension as Paul awaits a response, his fury palpable. Sunlight floods the Roman proconsul's court, highlighting the grand hall and the unfolding drama. Elymas, the sorcerer, cries out, his hands flying to his eyes in sudden agony. He stumbles blindly, lost in a world of sudden darkness. Elymas is struck blind. The Roman proconsul watches in stunned disbelief, his expression a mix of awe and dawning comprehension. The proconsul believes, astonished at the teaching about the Lord. Under the vast Perga sky, John Mark quietly prepares to leave Paul and Barnabas. He turns his gaze towards the distant skyline of Jerusalem, a mix of longing and determination etched on his face. A resolute step marks the beginning of his solitary journey. With each stride, the gap widens, leaving behind the familiar companionship. The skyline of Jerusalem beckons, a silent promise of what lies ahead. John Mark walks toward the horizon, a solitary figure against the vast landscape. Antioch in Pisidia comes into view, a city bustling with untold stories. Paul and Barnabas approach the city gates, their faces set with determination. They pass through the gates, entering the heart of Antioch. The synagogue awaits, a beacon of faith in a foreign land. Paul and Barnabas approach the synagogue, ready to share their message. They enter the synagogue, stepping into a space filled with anticipation.